Communism is an attempt at Marxism, which is basically to make everyone's paycheck the same. From 1945 to 1990, the US and the Soviet Union were having a friendly discussion about which economic system is good and which one is an evil virus of Satan. One of those friendly, not to mention deadly debates was the Vietnam War. In 1954, the Vietnamese kicked out their French colonizers, like this. French Indochina was divided into 4 countries: Laos, Cambodia, North Vietnam, and South Vietnam. This guy, remember him? He wants to invade South Vietnam and wants to be friends with Kimmy. So he calls up North Korea and the USSR and asks them for help to invade South Vietnam. And they say yes. So on May 1959, using the Ho Chi Mochi Trail, North Vietnamese soldiers entered South Vietnam. The US said, "Holy smokes, Southeast Asia is gonna fall like dominoes." What they meant by that was, if South Vietnam fell to communism, would Cambodia be next? Laos? Thailand? The president at the time, LBJ, or Lyndon B. Johnson, otherwise known as B.S. Johnson for boasting a lot in college, said, "Holy cow, the Soviets are helping the Viet Cong? We better send in our troops. Go get 'em, boys." The next 8 years, the US got their butt kicked hard. Actually, no, let me rephrase that. The US got their butts spiked with sharp bamboo sticks. Remember when I said the US feared that this was going to happen? Well, that kind of became a reality now in Southeast Asia. But in this video, we're going to focus on Cambodia. When the Vietnam War first started, Cambodia was like, "You guys can use our resources," and stayed neutral. By the time 1970 rolled in, the Prime Minister of Cambodia, Lon Nol, had a little argument with the king. So he said, "You know what, who even likes a king? I want to be a leader who is rich and powerful. Oh, and also, when I become a leader, we are definitely not going to be neutral." So when the king was in Moscow, he said, "Democracy rules, monarchy drools. So let's get rid of the monarchy. Who's in?" The National Assembly of Cambodia voted Sihanouk out of power. After that, Lon Nol said, "Well, since we don't have a leader now, I guess I'll just have to lead." So the Khmer Republic was born. The king, who was in Beijing at the moment, created the National United Front of Cambodia, or FUNC for short, to fight against the republic. When Lon Nol found out about this, he said, "It's treason then. I guess I'll just have to sentence him to death." When Sihanouk got word of this, he called up his friend in North Korea and said, "Hey, my dude, I was wondering if I could stay in your country, cause this idiot named Lon Nol's threatening to chop my head off, and I'm very sad. Any chance?" He said, "Sure thing, pal." The king stayed in Pyongyang for the next 5 years looking at his country filled with internal conflicts. Meanwhile, on the west side of Cambodia, little communist uprisings started to happen. These uprisings were led by a certain Salith Sar, better known as Pol Pot. The king actually praised his ideology and actually made an alliance with him, but Pol Pot only did that to increase his own power. Pol Pot led his communist army, now known as the Khmer Rouge, to invade more and more of Cambodia, where they eventually captured the capital, Phnom Penh. This is now known as the Cambodian Civil War, which is a war to decide how the country should be run. The communist Khmer Rouge kicked out the Khmer Republic with Pol Pot himself as dictator. As the leader, it is estimated he killed about 2 million people in the horrendous killing fields. You might be wondering, what are killing fields? Well, the killing fields were a way to torture and kill massive amounts of people, and it was usually located on rice farms. This period was also known as the Cambodian Genocide, which is one of the many things that Pol Pot did as leader. He also banned all religions because he was an atheist and said, "I'm going to return Cambodia into the global powerhouse it was with the Angkor Empire. Therefore, everything from the West is illegal, even medicine." I know, it's really messed up, but wait, there's more. 3 years into being a leader, he said, "You know, I have a hunch that those pesky Vietnamese will attack us soon, so why don't we attack them first?" So Pol Pot gathered his army and went to the Vietnamese city of Ba Chuk. Out of the 3,157 people living there, 2 survived. It was a massacre. The Vietnamese declared war on the Cambodians soon after. In a matter of days, the Vietnamese invaded the Cambodian capital. Pol Pot went on the run to Thailand and was captured 18 years later, where he was put under house arrest and died with a heart attack. The Vietnamese occupied Cambodia for the next 10 years, and and they put this guy in charge, who invited the king back to the throne. The king, who was now an old man, gave his throne to his son, Norodom Sihamoni, who leads Cambodia to this day. In conclusion, Cambodia may have had rough times, but they learned their lesson, right?